Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegans. I've been hearing that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics finally updated their position statement on vegan and vegetarian diets. And it's been a while since they've last updated it because the previous one had been expired for a few years now. And I know a few anti-vegans are just complete precious snowflakes. They saw me using it a few years ago after it had technically expired like some kind of carton of bad dairy milk. So to please these precious snowflakes, I stopped using it because I don't need it, because there are many other position statements from other nutritional organizations stating that vegan diets are nutritionally adequate. So most of you probably know, as I've said many times, I don't waste my time watching these anti-vegans and carnivore content on YouTube or any platform for that matter. I'm just a busy person. I don't have time for that. I'd rather spend my time doing something I really enjoy doing, such as, like, say, making songs and albums. You guys know I'm a music producer. But anyway, I have been hearing that some of these anti-vegan types have been making videos about this new Academy position statement and going off about how it's a total 180, like they're not into vegan diets anymore, they're not safe, it's kind of a debunking of veganism, like the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is no longer vegan almost. So we'll take a look at this brand new position statement that the Academy put out and see what it says and doesn't say. So first of all, why does the Academy even bother making these position statements in the first place? Is it just so that vegan content creators can use it to show people that vegan diets are nutritionally adequate and safe? No, far from it. That's the last thing I'm thinking of. It says right up front that the objectives of this position paper are to inform registered dietitians, nutrition and dietetics technicians, all these healthcare professionals and providers about evidence-based benefits and potential concerns of following vegan dietary patterns for different populations and strategies to facilitate healthy vegan dietary patterns in specific populations and settings. Yeah, so to be absolutely clear, they don't make the position statement so that YouTubers can hold it out for everyone to see. No, it's for health professionals, dietitians and the sort, assisting and advising actual patients and populations as how they should eat in order to be healthy. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at what they say about vegan diets now in 2025. All right, so here's the nitty-gritty, and it sounds quite similar to the previous position statement. It says, it is the position of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics that in adults, appropriately planned vegetarian and vegan dietary patterns can be nutritionally adequate and can offer long-term health benefits, such as improving several health outcomes associated with cardiometabolic diseases. Like I said, I haven't watched these anti-vegans and carnivores making videos about this position statement, and I only can imagine why they made it. They're probably gloating, somehow thinking that those words that we just read there didn't mean what they mean. I mean, let's take a look again. It says that appropriately planned vegan dietary patterns can be nutritionally adequate and can offer long-term health benefits. So I'm not sure why anti-vegans made videos about this new position statement as somehow being anti-vegan. I mean, it very clearly says appropriately planned vegan dietary patterns are nutritionally adequate, or can be nutritionally adequate. Yeah, meaning you have to eat in a proper way, don't do stupid stuff, and we'll talk about that later on. And it also adds that there are some great health benefits that can be had as well. So what part of this sounds like, oh no, don't do it? I'm not seeing that. So I don't know if they're just making stuff up or gaslighting, but you tell me what they said if you watch their crap. The only part of this position statement that I can imagine anti-vegans and carnivores running with are these two little words here where it says in adults. So this is a big change, now stating that the 2025 position statement applies only to adults, and as we'll see in a second, adults who are not also pregnant. And this is a huge change because the prior position statement said that this position statement applies to all people in all stages of the life cycle. So again, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but in my imagination, I can see all these anti-vegans and carnivore YouTubers and TikTokers making videos say, vegan diets are dangerous for kids. They are proclaiming, don't do this if you're a kid. And it doesn't really say that. They're just saying that this position statement applies only to people who are 18 and older. And let's take a look as to why. In their own words from the paper, it says, this paper addresses vegan and vegetarian dietary patterns in adults aged 18 years or older who are not pregnant or lactating. Facilitating vegetarian dietary patterns in individuals younger than 18, children, and or for those who are pregnant or lactating requires specific guidance that considers how vegetarian and vegan dietary patterns may influence these crucial stages of growth and development, and is outside the scope of this position paper. And remember earlier when I discussed why do they even create these position papers and statements in the first place? It's for their very specific audience, an audience of healthcare practitioners. So let's be really clear here, because I'm sure the anti-vegans are not. Let's be really clear about what it actually says and doesn't say here about the appropriateness of an all-plant diet for people under 18 and people who are pregnant. Again, what they are saying is that people under 18 and those who are pregnant or lactating require specific guidance that considers how eating a diet of all plants may influence these crucial stages of growth and development. In other words, they require specific guidance for their specific nutritional needs, and this specific guidance is outside the scope of this position paper. Again, anti-vegans, read the words. Nowhere in here does it say that if you're pregnant or under 18 that you can't eat a diet of all plants. It's scientifically unsound, you'll be deficient. Doesn't say that. It says you need specific guidance, and this particular position paper does not delve into the science, or at least didn't find enough science to cover these particular people in this position paper. And I think I understand why this might be the case. Towards the end of the paper, as many scientific papers have, they address what kind of research needs to be done in the future. And they say there are many research gaps regarding the health benefits and concerns of vegan and vegetarian dietary patterns for adults. So in other words, if they're having a hard time finding a large enough body of science covering all the different areas of science to make a position statement for adults, one could only assume that there are far fewer studies done on plant-based diets on people under 18 and those who are pregnant, meaning they just probably don't feel comfortable risking their reputation, because that's what's at stake here. I always say this is why you should listen to organizations of health professionals rather than influencers, some shirtless carnivore guy in the jungle. I mean, if he or she's wrong, it's like, no big deal. They just suck it up and pretend that they never said what they said.
There are toxins in plants that we do not need things in plants. So let's look for some fruit.
Okay.
I like fruit for carbohydrates.
But health organizations, they have their reputations at stake here. So I think they're erring on the side of caution. So what I think is most likely the case, the most reasonable explanation for what's happening here, is that the Academy feels that they don't have enough solid science to make a 100% definitive statement about the nutritional adequacy of vegan diets for people under 18 and pregnant people. So this statement applies to those where we have the most science for, and that's for those who are over 18 and not pregnant. So how do I feel about this? Not that you should care, because I'm just a music producer and not a dietitian or anything, but I actually think this is not a bad idea. I mean, how could it really hurt if you're really young, like under 18, and want to eat a diet of all plants? So if you're pregnant, it might not be a bad idea to consult with a vegan dietitian, or at least one who is knowledgeable in plant-based diets and nutrition, to get some solid advice. You might have particular nutritional needs, genetic differences or anomalies or something like that, and following just a generic blueprint from a position paper like this might not work in your situation. So I think it's great to be super cautious. Like if you're pregnant, I'm going to make sure you're doing everything that you should be doing given your unique situation to make sure you have a healthy pregnancy. And for people like myself who are over 18, definitely not pregnant, but on the older side of life, does this position paper still say that it's okay for me to eat a diet of all plants? They say, although research with older vegetarians is limited, plant-based dietary patterns, not specifically vegan or vegetarian, that emphasize healthier options have been associated with a lower risk of frailty, cognitive decline, dementia and depression, and higher bone mineral density. For those of us over 50, and I'm 57 by the way, those are totally awesome benefits. You want to have all those things working for you when you're older, and combine those benefits with the benefits stated in the original position statement that there are cardiovascular benefits, less chance of heart disease. Eating a plant-based diet should be a no-brainer as far as it healthier for older people. And speaking of the position statement stating that appropriately planned vegan diets are nutritionally adequate, let's take a look at what the Academy considers to be an appropriately planned vegan diet. Variety is key. Include a wide variety of unprocessed and minimally processed plant foods, including vegetables, fruits. Yes, fruits are cool, fruitarians, but you need to eat more, such as legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, and you'll see why here. Focus on produce, make vegetables and fruits key features of every meal, and aim for a bunch of color if you can. That way you get a full spectrum of nutrients. And proteins. Yes, we all know vegans need protein, but all you fruitarians, are you listening here? You need to eat your legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas. You're not following the advice of the Academy here. And focus on fiber. That is really not a problem. Yeah, get your grains. I know you fruitarian guys are scared of that too, and gals. Choose unsaturated fats because they're better for your heart health. I love to eat nuts, seeds, and avocados pretty much on a daily basis. And ensure you get adequate intake of micronutrients such as vitamin B12, D, iodine, choline, and a lot of these you can get in a basic multivitamin. And lastly, balance your energy intake, meaning eat sufficient calories to support metabolism and physical activity. If you don't, you're probably going to end up making one of these why I'm no longer vegan videos. So it was cool reading that list. That's pretty much how Angie and I eat, and that's pretty much how we eat in the Happy Healthy Vegan Cookbook. So if you want to get a copy, it's still on sale from Black Friday prices. I'll put a link down below and above here too. So if any anti-vegans and carnivores are saying that this new position statement paper is somehow saying not to eat vegan diets, you need to take a closer look. This graphic, which is part of the paper, shows that they are very clearly behind eating an all-plant diet. It's obviously painfully clear that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has not made a 180 reversal about their position about the nutritional adequacy of vegan diets. They've just said this position statement applies to non-lactating adults over the age of 18. So if any carnivore wants to interpret that and gaslight that to mean, well, vegan diets are unsafe because they can't recommend it for children, well, I want to ask you, can you find any organization of health professionals that recommends eating nothing but meat or meat and dairy for anyone, 18, pregnant, under 18 or not? You're not going to find one. So leave your questions and comments down below, especially if you've seen any content from any of these anti-vegan content creators saying that this position statement is a condemnation of plant-based diets. Just let me know what they're saying. I want to have a good laugh. And yeah, share this video, hit like, please share us with your friends on the interwebs. And also, if you think everything I said here is just completely wrong and I'm stupid, I'm misreading things, even though I'm just reading the words, and you think words don't mean words, please come to my Friday live streams, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we could chat about it as long as you're civil. Until next time, guys, remember, it doesn't suck being vegan.